guys going to have to play defensively with Luka and Kyrie?
Well, I mean, this is going to be a heavy pick and roll series. This is kind of the primary driver of their offense is a lot of pick and roll. We're going to have to be good in pick and roll, a lot of different coverages, a lot of different things. Through a series, you're going to have to be able to employ, go to at different points. But yeah, last series wasn't that heavy in pick and roll. Fortunately, we've been pretty good in pick and roll this year, but we got to brush up on some things.
They're quite differently from what you saw in the regular season after the trade. Like, what
Yeah.
stands out to you, and what is going to be a focal point that you did not have to worry about?
Well, we haven't played this iteration. Yeah, we played them our 4 times before the before the trade deadline. So they're a way more complete and complementary unit. Their defense has taken a big step forward with the rim protection, and just so you can see their kind of connectivity on defense and overall effort is at an all-time high there. And they've got a lot of really good pieces around Luka and Kyrie that can really make shots, get out in transition, do all the things that they needed to do to support those guys. So.
What else stands out about their defense? I think it's number 1 since like March 1st or so.
It starts with the rim protection. They got 2 long, active, athletic bigs that really swallow up the rim. They do a really good job of generating turnovers, like to kind of shut the lane down. In and around the paint, they're very tight, and they got good length and athleticism to fly around and contest. So.
You guys had a week off before each of the last 2 series. There's 2 days here, and you're just coming off like a 7-day battle.
Yeah.
Like, what is the challenge here of turning the page so quickly and kind of refocus?
Well, you got the emotional piece. You got to put the last series behind you quickly, and then obviously you got to try to load up on all the new information. You don't have a whole week to prepare, so but that's just the nature of how these things go. Fortunately, like I said, we've been pretty good in pick and roll, and just have to get kind of get back to doing that. So.
Chris, you were really complimentary of Ant and his commitment to the offensive game plan in both series. What do you want to see him like abide by offensively in this series?
Well, we have a feeling we know how they're going to guard him. We'll have to see once the games start. But yeah, I just have to continue to make the right play. Sometimes the right play is when they put 2 on you, getting off it at the right time to the right person. Sometimes it's avoid playing in the crowd. Getting out of it a little bit earlier. Sometimes it's shooting when you're open. So yeah, he's been doing it all playoffs, no matter what the looks have been. So we just have to be ready to kind of read and react to what happens. But I have every confidence that I'll continue to do it.
How much is a series like Denver? I can't imagine a better series to help you when you got to come back and all the emotions you went through. What does that do to toughen the team?
Well, obviously had great resolve through that series. But that's how we feel about ourselves all the time. Great confidence, no matter what the circumstances are. But all that series means to us now is that if we get down, we have faith in ourselves to come back. But it's going to be a whole different animal with Dallas for sure.
When we were talking to Jaden earlier this year, he said Luka kind of mastered the game.
Yeah.
How has Luka mastered the game?
Well, it's one of those guys that's when the ball's in his hands, everybody's playing at his pace. The whole game kind of slows down. He can make every pass on the floor plus score for himself. Does a great job of being able to manipulate the defense with his passing, just whether he's making the pass or freezing the defender with a look off or something like that. And just got to be able to kind of affect him as any way you possibly can. But yeah, it's just there's very few guys in the league that when the ball's in their hands, like the entire arena just slows down to his pace, and he's one of them.
Chris, with how sharp the ebbs and flows were in that last series against Denver, do you go into this one kind of expecting some of the same?
I expected, probably be a long series like most of them are these days at this point in the season. Every series has its own personality, so I'm not sure I can predict the ups and the downs right now. We gotta be ready for a hot start. We've been good getting off these starts in the series, so that's served us well. So that's what we're focused on right now.
Chris, you've known all the things that Ant does on and off the court in the regular season, but what are some of the things you would only learn about him in a run to like the Western Conference Finals that you would see with this kind of experience?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with his engagement goes up. I mean, he's definitely locked in at a higher level. I think he's really enjoying like the cerebral parts of the game right now. Being demanding of his teammates, his leadership is all these things are just kind of, they were there and they were growing, but they've gone to another level and they're like omnipresent right now. So.
Chris, along those lines, we've seen Ant. He always gives shouts out and
Yeah.
empowers his teammate. But we also heard him, get on Towns about not committing silly fouls.
Yeah.
What allows a 22-year-old to be able to kind of have that conversation with veteran players?
Just confidence. Like being a leader is obviously having the confidence to know what to say and when to say it, and having obviously the confidence to go out and do it yourself. You don't have to be perfect. Ant makes a lot of mistakes. He'll be first to tell you that he does so. But when you lead, you have that kind of genuine approach, and your teammates like you, and when you're building your teammates up and always giving credit to them when they do good things, then you can call on them when they need to do things better. So he has really kind of established that relationship with his teammates, and he has gained their trust, just like you would hope he would.
Chris,
Is it
regarding
like-
Mike, what's the pain? Is it a pain tolerance thing for him in terms of managing the Achilles?
I think there's some soreness there, but it's it comes and goes. Some days are probably a little better than others right now. So, definitely a pain management thing, but didn't look to be too bad in Game 7. So.
Chris, is it weighing on your mind at all about who might own the team?
Not one bit. I have a great relationship with all ownership parties, and it's been, not even been in my mind at all. So certainly since the playoffs started. So.
Chris, what's it like navigating the grind of like all of this right now? Like 8 wins down, but you're only at the halfway point.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal is 8 more wins.
Yeah, 100%. And we just talked about that today. Been a great season. We've accomplished a lot, but we said from the beginning, and as the season was unfolding, like, why not us? The league's wide open. We're not in a dynastic period, and as proven, there's going to be a new champion this year. So everything's still to play for, but a long, long way to go. So.
How much more mobile are you feeling in and around the bench?
Oh, good. Yeah, my pain is way down. But still not able to be out front, just for safety purposes. So.
Chris, I think you talked about this the other day, but that could have been an awkward situation. Just managing, Mike had given instruction or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
how's that gone? It seems like
it's gone great. I mean, listen, one of the things that he's really, really good at is like game management. He helps me a lot with game flow, game management, what I refer to as small pieces of the game, whether it be rotation, special situations, like end of quarter management, clock management, that kind of stuff. And that's what you really need to be on top of too when you're in the position he's in up front. After a few games, I just told him like you got to take a little bit more control over certain situations. You're not going to be wrong. It may not work, but you're not going to be wrong. Trust your gut. We can't have a lag time where you're looking for me all the time. So, but nonetheless, I always find a way to get my message across, or if I want something. So it's not bad. It's been going well. Best we could hope for.
Is this the closest thing to like you being an offensive coordinator watching from the up high?
Yeah, I mean, I do get a slightly different perspective. Just with a step back, you're not in the in the mix as much, so that's kind of nice. We're still we got really good staff, and we've got a lot of connectivity there. So.
Talked about the rim protection.
Yeah.
That's something you maybe haven't seen in a month, just the way the playoffs
Yeah.
work, and like pick and roll is something you haven't seen in 2 weeks. So what is it like kind of easing back into something when it's not like you haven't seen it in 2 games, you haven't seen it literally like a month?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. We spent a lot of time like going through that stuff today in practice. Just kind of getting back to those, that foundation of those types of, options on offense and the different things we're going to have to do on defense. So we've done it. We've said all season long, we've preached to our guys, we're going to have to be able to do a lot of different things. And the reason we want to do it is not just to navigate a season, but also to navigate a playoffs. And so we have some experience doing it all. So
Just kind of against a little bit different of roster construction that Dallas has, kind of to Jason's point. What are some key things you're looking for from Cat in this series?
I think the same things that he's been doing all season, like obviously stay out of foul trouble. Defense has been really high level for him. I can see he's not going to, there's like not a primary matchup that he's going to have. He'll probably be more in a help situation or rotations and that kind of stuff. Different pick and roll coverages for him. And then offensively, just stay within the flow, maintain great spacing. His timing offensively has been outstanding. He's just kind of waited for the right moments, and then he's been able to kind of assert himself over these stretches in the game. And he's in a good rhythm, so I expect him to, hopefully stay there.
Chris, you won with balance the last game. You won with Cat scoring 40.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a preference, or the playoffs just dictated by that night?
It's just dictated by that night. Every game is different. It's really, as much as you like to think that these games are related, they're not. Everyone is very much different. Adjustments are made. Some guys play well, some guys don't play so well. Sometimes teams do things to take guys out of a game. So, just, got to kind of be able to separate them and take them as they come.
What's your preference? Do you like when guys, like, if going at a shot blocker, like off a pick and roll? Like,
What's that, sorry?
When a guy's like going at a shot blocker off a pick and roll, do you like them to look for the lob for Rudy? Do you like them to just throw it off the rim, and if it doesn't go in, Rudy's there? Like, do you guys have a preference?
I like for him to score. If it's the lob, great. If it's the layup, great. If it's the kick out, great. It's about making the right play. So,
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
This is a much different team that you're playing than Denver. Just what's the challenge of kind of shifting gears quickly to an entirely different approach, probably defensively for you guys?
Yeah, it's just that we know it's going to be a different style of game, a lot more pick and rolls. The ball handler is the Jokic of the series, where they do a lot of stuff for Luka and Kyrie, and guys have to be able to be in and out in help situations, and they play fast with the throw aheads and all that stuff to their athletic wings. So we'll have multiple challenges this series, and we'll have to figure out how to do that right away. Obviously, only getting a day and a half to prepare for them is different than the last two series where we've had 3-4 days off to get ready. So we got to kind of lock in right away.
How are you feeling physically? Just kind of getting to where you want to be.
Getting better. With these things, this you play 38 minutes, it's going to be sore for the next couple of days, but after you get a lot of treatment, a lot of rest, like I've had over the last few days, it feels really good going into the game. Just going to be one of those cycles you have to deal with.
Is it the kind of thing where when you play, does it get worse, or can you like with the rest days still keep improving the injury overall, or how does that dynamic work with it?
Yeah, it honestly depends on if you can get throughout the game without having any small setback. You can have some movements that really kind of jar it or cause the pain to go up really quickly and kind of stays there for a little while. Some games I get through the whole game and you don't have any setback, and so you just kind of keep building upward and forward. So I'm just trying to stack as many of those days together as I can.
What's your history like with Kyrie over the years? Are there a lot of memorable battles, a lot of head-to-heads that stand out? Or?
Man, he's a nightmare to guard. But he's been in the East most of the time, so I've only gotten to play against him a few times a year. So now, him being in Dallas, obviously, and never played against him in playoffs either. So it's going to be a fun challenge for us all, and you get to play against one of the best players I feel like to ever touch a basketball. So we got to be ready to go.
Some of the things that they do well are things that you probably haven't seen for like a month, just in the nature of the playoffs. Like, what is the challenge of in a day trying to get used to things that you've done in the regular season but have not done in a long time?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. You're going to have to kind of reset your brain, reset your mind, because Denver is a completely different matchup as far as, how they play compared to Dallas. And this is a completely different Dallas team than we've played in the previous couple games when we played them in the regular season. So for us, it's just trying to adjust to that right away, trying to adjust to the coverages, our mindsets on who we're guarding, tendencies for those guys we're guarding. So that's going to be our challenge right away.
Mike, Ant normally gets the best wing stopper, guard stopper, defensive guy guarding him. I'd imagine earlier in your career that was often the guy that was guarding you, and there's that Ant's getting it now. What is the difference for you, like feeling that when it's maybe not the best perimeter defender guarding you?
It's obviously a lot less pressure on you as guys who are guarding you now, or maybe they're second or third or whoever in line as far as their defenders go on the perimeter, and it's an opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive. It's an opportunity to try to get the ball in your hands and have more actions, kind of flow through you when Ant's getting hounded or they're trying to tire him out or they're doubling him or something like that. If I'm getting a guy closing out to me full speed, I'm at an advantage, and I try to use that advantage if I can get that ball on time. So that's just been how it's been over the last year and a half being here, especially with the guys we have on the team. So I just got to be able to be aggressive when I get the ball.
Mike, has it been on your mind at all about who might own the team after the season?
Not at all, actually, not at all, honestly.
Mike, for a guy like Ant, what does a run to the Western Conference Finals, this type of playoff experience, and then what he's about to get in this Western Conference Finals, do for him as far as his learning curve to becoming the star that he hopes to be?
Honestly, this is like a trampoline, jump board for him, and just being able to experience this at such a young age. I said it after last game. Like, a lot of times, you lose that game 7, and then it kind of gets your mind, on it for all summer, and then you come back another year and you have to springboard to the Western Conference Finals and kind of build up to it, and we're able to win that. Now, you got to do it now. So it's like, hey, can you build upon what we just accomplished in round 2, round 3 coming up, and it's a big moment for him, big opportunity. He's got to understand that. I think for our gift is we have a lot of guys who don't really realize the moment as much, like how special it is or how important or what we just accomplished last series. So it allows us to come in with just a hungry, eager mentality. I think that's going to be to his benefit going forward for his legacy and things like that, and for our benefit as a team.
Are they embracing the moment though? Going back to, was it before game 1 against Phoenix? Your message to the team about it's been so long since you've had a run like this. Are the guys embracing this moment?
Oh yeah, they've definitely embraced it. But like I said, it's been a weird balance of embracing a moment, understanding like the urgency I feel or like the things that I'm feeling, but at the same time they're so green to the situation, like they don't understand, like, hey man, like every single play matters, every single second in the game matters. One game doesn't dictate what the next game's gonna happen. You're gonna play 2-3 different teams throughout a series, essentially with the adjustments. And I think that last series was really good for us. We got to learn a lot about ourselves, learn a lot about how you can win series in a bunch of different ways. So we're looking down. If we're down 0-2 in this series, it's no reason to go, oh no, we have no chance to win this. Like, no, we can win 3 in a row. We can win 2 in a row. So just understanding that that's how this game's gonna be played from here on out.
Kind of going off that, does it starting to feel a little more real with that? Some of the younger guys you mentioned, the further you keep going, more real it starts to get. Are you getting that feeling from them that they're starting to grasp that though?
I think so, and I think it's easy to look up and say, man, just 4 more wins, you're in the finals. 8 more wins, you're winning it all. Just a simple way to look at it. But I think what's gotten us here to the spot where we've been at is the realization of every game is the biggest game. Every game is the only game that really matters. So if we just keep that mentality, that one game at a time mentality, I think we'll be fine.
During the last series was maybe a perception that whoever won between you and Denver was likely to represent the West in the finals. Is that something that you guys heard address? Do you try to block that out of your mind, or how do you do that?
Not at all. I think Dallas or OKC, they're both playing some of the best basketball in the league, if not the best basketball in the league. During these playoffs, these last 2 series, and each series is going to be different. We didn't expect, just because we beat Phoenix or Denver, that it's going to be, now it's our time to just run through the West. No, it's Dallas is here for a reason. They're a completely different team. Like I said, they're playing some of the best defense, some of the best offense we've seen. So that's our mindset, is just sticking to the game plan, getting ready for Dallas.
You've known all year the type of player that Ant had to be for this team to be its best version, the type of player Cat had to be for it to be its best version. To see those guys, like, that message really sink in at the perfect time, what has that been like?
It's been great, it's been a lot of growth from our, studs, our stars, and, between Cat, Ant, Jaden, like all them guys stepping up in the right times, the right moments, and in different ways. Like Cat being, the guy that's been able to benefit from, drawing double teams and making plays for guys, and then Ant not only scoring but playmaking, and then deciding to take over games defensively. Like, how we win is completely different ways sometimes, and it's because of their versatility and their willingness to sacrifice. Jaden as well. I think Jaden's going to be a big key to that. Is he puts a lot of takes a lot of pressure off of those guys when he's able to get into his rhythm and score defend the way he does. So I'm just proud of them so far, and I think they'll just keep doing it.
Hey, Mike, your personality seems like it couldn't be any more different than Ant's. How do you guys click?
I think that's the opposite of attract, kind of thing. Like I got a lot that he doesn't have. He's got a lot what I don't have. So we just find a way to meet in the middle. And but there's just this mutual respect for each other. I think he respects a lot of what I do, what I bring to the table. I respect so much of his work ethic and things that obviously he can do for our team, and want to see him be the best person he can be. And I think he realizes that and just respects that a lot.
Last one, guys.
Do you think the lack of runs like this in your career is maybe why you've flown under the radar a little bit?
Possibly. My teams have always kind of ran into that wall. First, second round, we end up playing against Jokic or Spurs or somebody, and they knock us out and just never were able to get over that hump. So that could be one thing. The postseason success is so big for people and their view of how you are as a player and if you're a winner or not. So I've always tried to play winning basketball, but this year I'm trying to also do that and actually win at the same time.
Not too late.
Not too late. Not too late.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
It's like kind of preparing for things you've done during the season but haven't done for so long in just like one practice.
I think every matchup has been unique, from Phoenix to Denver and now Dallas. They obviously each of these teams have some unique players and some unique ways of playing basketball. So it's always a test for our ability to adapt to different situations and different ways of playing defense, but at the same time stay who we are.
You're always looking to be aggressive on the offensive glass. Is that heightened though when the other team has like guys who like to be shot blockers?
Don't matter who we play. It's one way for me to really impact the game, put a lot of pressure on the other team, and also make winning plays for our team. So regardless of who we play, I'm going to try to put pressure on the glass. It's really key for us.
Are you ever surprised at this stage of your career in the playoffs and knowing teams and players as well? Do they ever surprise you with strategies and whatnot at this stage, or do they throw everything they throw at you? Have you seen before and you anticipate?
I think I've seen it all in terms of coverages. There's not a million coverages that you can do in basketball. That teams have been trying to switch. They've been trying to either be back in the drop or also be up. Also depends of who I'm playing with most of the time. But with me, I know that teams are trying to be physical, try to not let me get anything easy under the basket and try to really take away, try to minimize what I do best. So it's really that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna do it, and not try to do it and not try to be the best really that I can be, and also do what my teams need me to do to help them win.
Rudy, given how recently you played Phoenix, kind of knew how the matchups and kind of how that was going to work, and then you played Denver so many times. This is a team that changed after the trade deadline. You haven't really played them. So going into a game one, do you guys have a good feel for how this is going to, like the matchups and stuff like that will work, or is it kind of you figure that out in the course of the game?
They've been playing some amazing basketball since the deadline. They, top 4 offense, top 4 defense. They are, I think they won 75% of their games. We haven't faced that team yet. We faced some of these guys, obviously, but that group together, we haven't faced it yet. So it's a big challenge for us. But we also believe in who we are, believe in our strength, and we believe in our ability to try to slow them down, and then and also offensively, our ability to find good shots, for our team. So we know it's going to be really tough. We know these guys are an incredible team. They're here for a reason. But everyone in the locker room believes and is ready for that challenge.
Probably not a big surprise to you that you're on an first team all defense, but was it cool to see Jaden also recognized?
That was the most important for me. Just see him get his first. That's his first on defensive team. So he wants to be in the first team, and I think he's top 5 defender in this league. But it's good to get your first one, and then you know, and now he gets to show the world who he is every night on the biggest stage. So it's I'm really proud of him. You know, the work that he puts in, the growth, you know, the maturity that is shown throughout the year, and like especially even now in the playoffs. You know, we definitely wouldn't be there without him. So it's you know, sky's the limit, but it's good to get his first one. I'm happy for him.
All you bigs stole all the first team spots.
Yeah, I mean, you know, bigs have been, those guys have been, you know, who was the first team?
AD, Wemby, you, Bam, and then Herb Jones was the only non-big.
Yeah, so I mean, those 3 other bigs have had great years, you know, so they deserve their credit, you know, that they've impacted the game in a really good way for their teams defensively, and Herb Jones, you know, also had a good year. So I mean, I'm happy for all these guys. You know, it's I have a lot of respect for all the players that, you know, take pride in, you know, being great on that end of the floor, because you don't usually get as much credit at, you know, the other end of the floor, and you don't get as much attention. And also you face the greatest players in the world every night, you know, in a very offensive-minded league. So it's I have a lot of respect for those guys.
Rudy, speaking of defense, what has stood out to you about Carl's defense in the playoffs, and do you think that's been another level that you've seen him bring?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he took that challenge, you know, and he knows that, and I keep reminding him that, to try to motivate him, that team is going to try to attack him and go at him, and then, you know, and he's been not just taking that challenge, it's been a huge plus for us defensively. I mean, the way he got Jokic was incredible, you know, and he's, you know, he takes that challenge every night, and it's fun to watch. You know, it's I really love to see the competitive mindset that he has, and also how much he wants to win. You know, he realized that we need him to be not just good, but to be great, and he's been doing it.
Rudy, for a young player like Ant, who has so much of his career ahead of him, what do you think it does for like his legacy to be at this stage of the Western Conference Finals, at this stage of his career?
I mean, I think it's incredible, you know, for him. I mean, 22 years old, being in a Western Conference Finals. I don't even know how many of those he's gonna have, you know. But I also know that those don't come as easily as you would think. You know, Mike was actually saying that in the locker room. He said last time he was in a conference finals, it was, I think, 12 years ago or something like that. So you never know when you're going to have the opportunity. So it's, for me, I try to tell him that, you know, you got to make the most of that moment, you know, and you're not 22 years old, you Anthony Edwards, you are, you know, you 4th year in the league, you know, you're very mature, and you can help a team win a championship right now. So, you know, it's been amazing taking that challenge, and not just being content with the success that he already has. You know, he wants more. He wants to be a champion, and you know, and he's putting the work to do so. So it's been, yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to be a part of this group, and to be, to be able to help him try to achieve that, and push him every day to be the greatest version of himself, you know. And he's been getting more mature, you know, almost like every game, you know, we've played, and it's I'm really proud of him. You know, the maturity, the growth that he's shown is carries over to our team, and you know, and I can't wait to watch him keep growing every day.
How much are you embracing, Rudy, this opportunity? I mean, now that you're in your 30s, right? I mean, this is a great opportunity for you.
I mean, it's my dream. You know, I've always dreamed about being a champion. It's always been my goal, you know, win a championship. You know, whether it was in Utah or since I got in the league, you know, and when I got traded here, you know, the first thing that I said is that I believe, you know, I believe in this organization. I believe in the group that, you know, that I believe in the thing that team and these guys will try to build, and I'm really grateful that they believe in me to try to help this team get to the next level. And, you know, for me and for this organization, we are now in a territory that we haven't been before. I mean, for this team, this group, and yeah, I'm enjoying the moment. There's nothing I want more right now than championship. So I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Jokic said that Mike is the most underrated player in the NBA.
Yeah.
What's it going to take for Mike to just be properly rated?
I don't think he ever will, but I think a championship would definitely, would definitely put some respect on his name a little more, and when you win, there's nothing people can say at the end of the day, So I know how bad he wants to win, and I know how much it means to this team, to this group. So I just want it really bad for him too, and he's 36 now, so he's the one that's probably the most aware of how precious these moments are, and these opportunities are, and he's showing it every day in practice and on the court.
Rudy, you talk a lot about continuing to be yourselves as a team, but when the stakes get higher, what's the challenge in kind of like staying in the moment, staying to yourselves as the stakes just continue to get higher?
That's a great question. The challenge, we know our team, we know ourselves, and we've said this from the beginning. Our biggest competition a lot of times is ourselves. It's the maturity, the distractions, the praise, critics, the noise, all that that can pollute our mind and get in our own way, and we've seen it, a couple times. Not a couple times, a lot of times over the last 2 years, and we've really matured as a group. Now we are aware of it. We're able to anticipate those things, and also guys have been really locked in. They're really try to get, everybody wants to come home, come see you play. Everybody want to come to your house, your friends, your family. Everyone want to be a part of that when you're winning, but you're winning because you also locked in and you're able to be in your own bubble. So I think everyone is on the same page now and understands that everything we need is in this locker room, and through adversity or through great moments, we're gonna leave that with the people in this locker room.
Rudy, you're a routine guy. Have you been able to kind of get back to your routine given what you've just had go on in your personal
I have an incredible girlfriend. She's been really allowing me to get some sleep, and she's taken a lot of the responsibilities, even though I also spend a lot of time with them. But the sleep for me is the most important, and she's been doing that, so I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, it's I think it's also a great balance for me. In the midst, I've always been so driven on my routine and on success and winning and all these things that having that balance of sometimes just turning that off and spending just some real genuine moments with my kid and with her just helps me be even better when I come back into work mode. And it's been an amazing few weeks so far.
You and Ant compare notes on fatherhood, or where are you at?
We what?
You and Ant talking fatherhood much, since you're both new fathers? And
Yeah, we do a little bit. We do. Ant is, the way he is with his daughter is just, it's amazing to see. You can see how much love he has, and I know he's going to be a great dad too. So, if he doesn't, I'm sure I'll slap him on the wrist. But I know he will. And he's younger than me, obviously. So he's everyone's in a different stage in their lives, but I know Ant is, he's going to be a great dad, and he has a lot of love, for his daughter. So that's the most important.
Your last series in Utah was against Dallas. Obviously that didn't go great for you guys. Does this feel a little bit like a full circle moment in that sense?
There's a lot of full circle moments happening. That's one of them. Facing a team that I wasn't able to beat in the playoffs in the past. Facing Alex Jensen, was with me for 10 years in Utah, 9 years, 9 or 10. But it's a lot of full circle moments happening, and I'm just focused on every step of the way, every day, enjoying every practice, every workout, just every minute of it. And when it's time to play, I'll just be me, and give all I have to give to this team and enjoy it.
Rudy, anything on your mind at all about who might own the team after the season?
That's out of my pedigree, The most important thing for me right now is to focus on making sure that we try to accomplish our goal, and then we'll see what happens above us. But yeah, whatever needs to happen will happen.
Thank you, Rudy.
Thanks, Rudy.